The video no.
Just a moment, because of some technical glitch, it will soon start. The Saraswati Vandana will soon start.
या ब्रह्माच्युत शंकर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा। शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसारपरमां आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणापुस्तकधारिणीम् अभयदाम् जाड्यान्धकारापहां हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थितां वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं जगतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्।
Thank you, everyone. Now, before proceeding further, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to Director KIT, Dr. Brijesh Vaishnav Sir, Dean of Engineering Faculty, Manado State University, Indonesia, Dr. Eddie Kembuan, the coordinators of today's session, Dr. Nurul Islam and Professor Vivi Rantang, and of course the guest speaker, Mr. Rajat Goyal. So the workshop focuses to enhance your knowledge of Python, which is a very popular programming language used for web development, software development, mathematics, system scripting, etc. Before proceeding further, I would like to invite Director KIT, Dr. Brijesh Vaishnav Sir, to enlighten all of us with your golden words.
Thank you, Bushra. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, audible.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Good morning to all of you in India, and very good afternoon to all of you in the Indonesia. So this is Dr. Brijesh Vaishnav, Director, Kanpur Institute of Technology. Welcome you all in this 5-day online workshop on Python programming. As we are aware that Kanpur Institute of Technology and Manado State University, Manado, Indonesia, have entered and signed an MOU that is really proving to be very beneficial for our students, faculty members, and to the learners in India and Indonesia. This workshop will be graced by Mr. Rajat Goyal from the Computer Science Department from Kanpur Institute of Technology. He will give the detail about the Python, deep insight of the Python. This workshop, I am sure this workshop will definitely be great learning experience, and I'm sure that all the learners present in this session will be benefited. I congratulate the organizers team and coordinator Dr. Nurul Islam from KIT and Professor Vivi Runtum from United States University, Indonesia, for arranging this wonderful session. Not taking much of the time, all of you. Thank you very much for inviting me, and we can proceed with this great session. Over to you, Bushra. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, may I request Dr. Eddie Cambuan, Dean of Engineering Faculty from Manado State University, to throw some light on today's session.
Everyone, on behalf of our dear
We are going to discuss about two topics in management. So one is about principles of management, and another
apologize from our den because
rules of the management. Okay. So the difference is that last class
Bushra, I think request everyone to mute their mic.
Yes, I request everyone to please mute their mic. There is a lot of disturbance in the session. I think there is one Lokesh Kumar. Please mute your mic. Yes, I request Dr. Eddie Cambuan, Dean of Engineering Faculty, to please throw some light on today's session. I think right now is not available with us. So before wasting much of the time, we will quickly proceed with the session. Before getting started, may I introduce you all to our speaker, Mr. Rajat Goyal. He is working as an assistant professor in the BTech Computer Science Department of Kanpur Institute of Technology. He has rich experience in the software industry and has done his master's and bachelor's in technology in the computer science stream. He has keen interest in Python and other programming languages. His dynamic and versatile personality will definitely be inspire all of us, and I am sure you're going to gain a lot from this session. Now, may I request Mr. Rajat Goyal to please start with the session.
Okay, hello, good morning to all of you. And before starting with the coding area, let me throw some introduction about the Python programming language, and let me share my screen so that you all can see all the steps that I'm going to hear. It's saying the host is disabled, participant screen sharing. Can admin please allow me share my screen? I request admin to please allow me to share my screen. Here, host is disabled for screen sharing. Okay, till the time admin is altering setting to share the screen, let me throw some introduction of the Python programming language. So let me start from the definition of the Python programming language. Python is a programming language as well as a scripting language. It is a object oriented in nature, and as it is a scripting language, it is a interpreter based language. So what is interpreter based language? Interpreter based language are basically that okay, I can share my screen now, I think. No.
Hi, Mr. Rajat. I'm sorry, my internet was now. So on behalf of our, we say thank you to Director of Kanpur Institute of Technology. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. It is suddenly uh, down. Okay, I'm so happy if you can hear me. Then thank you so very much for waiting. On behalf of our DEN, we want to say thank you to the Director of Kanpur Institute of Technology, Dr. Brajes Farsney, and also Associate Professor and Head of Research and Development, Kanpur Institute of Technology, and Dr. Nurul Islam, and for all the organizing team from Kanpur Institute of Technology, India, our Rector, Professor Dr. Dece Katuuk, MPD, very excited about this program because Kanpur Institute of Technology want to make workshop together for 5 days. So we are very glad and so proud with this event. And that's all from me. I hope you all can enjoy the workshop. Thank you very much. I give the screen to you, Mr. Rajat Goyal.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. And let me start from the Python programming language. In order to program in programming language, we need interpreter or compiler, whatever the programming language needs. So for Python programming language, we have an interpreter that is available in on their website. Okay, so let me show you how to download it, and let's get started with Python programming language. So in order to download Python programming language interpreter, so you have to just go to your browser and you can just say download Python. When you see the search result, then always look for the official website, that is www.python.org. And when you will go here on the home screen, you will find the latest version of Python. So the latest version of Python is 3.10.6. You can download the latest version of Python from here, or if your system compatibility do not allow, you can also search for its descendant versions from below. You can find the descendant version of Python here, and according to your system compatibility, you can download from here. The Python version that I'm using is actually 3.8, because for the current software and all the things, let's say Python 3.10 is the latest version, but the software that's running in the market or going to run in the market, or when they started development, it could be 3.8 or 3.9, because the software development takes time, and the language enhancement or versionization gets early. So you will find the software version or development version from the developer side will be always one or two version in descendant. in nature. So I'm using Python 3.8, and you can download Python from here. You just have to hit on the download button, and Python will be downloaded. When Python will be downloaded and you will install it, Python comes with its by default IDE, and you can open its IDE. It's actually not a full-fledged IDE, heavy IDE. It is a very lightweight weight version that provide text editor and shell also. To open it, you just have to say IDLE in your start menu if you are using Windows. I'm currently using Windows, and for Mac there are some similar option as well. So I'm opening IDLE here. So when you open IDLE, as Python is an interpreter based, so you will find shell first. What is shell? Shell is a inbuilt environment provided by Python, where you can see line by line execution of the code. Okay, so I think text is very small to you. Let me get it bigger for all of you. So it can be also a lesson. If you find text small or big, you can just go to edit or configure ID. In options, there is a option called configure IDLE. Here is a text option. Making it 14, I guess it will be okay. No, for screen sharing, I should keep it around 18, I think. Yeah, it will be okay for you. Now I guess or I hope everyone can see my screen and read my text, whatever writing here. So basically what shell is that Python is providing. Shell is a, interpreter uh, platform that provided by Python, and we can execute code line by line in shell, and we can see line by line execution of code in shell. So let's say a basic syntax for a print statement in Python, and let shall be testing. So let's say print hello Python. You can see output instantly in shell. So you can see here live, we can get line by line execution of code in shell uh, very quickly. But if you want to write bigger programs, then this will be not a convenient way to write program here. So Python also provide its text editor, where you can write your programs, 10 line of code, 20 line of code, even 100 or 1,000 line of code in a one go. And after that, you can create exe and run it, or you can just after saving, you can compile see output in shell after the translation of the program. So how to open its text editor? You just have to go file and click on new file. Here we go, and we can see text editor provided by Python. So here we can write a program. I know you, if you are so first let's start with the what is prerequisite for Python. There is a lot of question: is any another programming language that one should know before starting Python? There is a no foundation. Actually, Python is a programming language that is very simple in nature, and if you haven't worked in any of the programming language before, then also you can start with Python. You just have to know some basic concept of programming, like what is translator program, what is the function of translator programs, what kind of translator program is there, what is variable, what is conditional statement, what they do, some basic stuff for the idea of programming language that you should know. And then you can start with Python. It is a very simple programming language. I know if someone is here and don't know about the syntax of Python, I'm going to write a 3 line of code or 2 line of code. It is very easy to understand. Just to show you the working of its text editor. So just don't worry about the code, whatever I'm writing here. I will get here one by one, but well, for now I'm just giving you the brief introduction of its text editor, how we can work in its text editor also. So here I'm taking variable, I'm assigning a value, let's say 9 to a, and b equal to let's say 6, and I'm going to print the sum of these numbers. So I'm taking a string here in print statement. Sum is let's say a plus b. So you can write program whatever the line of codes, 10, 20, 100,000, you can write here in text editor. And when you will write, one thing is to be noticed here, when I was running program in shell, and after writing a single line, when I was hitting the enter, it gets to the execution. But here in text editor, I have written 3 lines, hit enter 3 times, but there is a no execution. So in order to execute this program, you just have to go to run button, and you can also see the shortcut button for the run module. From now, I will use this shortcut button, that is F5. You can just directly hit F5 and it will translate your program and run it in a one shot. But first it will ask you to save the program. So let me do this, and here, yeah, it is asking to save my program. So I'm going to save my program. You can select the location wherever you want to save your program. Here there is my one recommendation: if you are starting coding, or you are even if you are a pro, you are working for a project, you should create a directory first where you want to all the codes you are going to save for your project. Or if you are even if you are a beginner and you want to code a collection for a small program, first make a directory and save all the programs there. Okay, so I'm going to make a directory in D drive. Let me see, I have D drive. Yeah, I have D drive, and I'm going to create a folder here. So I'm gonna name it like workshop day 1. Okay, and let's say sum of 2 numbers. Whenever you give a name to your code, just remember, it's a quick tip to you, all of you. Don't give space to files, as I have used underscore here. You can also use underscore, or even a hyphen also you can use like this. But underscore is much recommended from my side, because there are so many places here hyphen do not allow. So I'm using underscore here. Please mute the mic, all of you. So there will be no disturbance. I'm requesting all the participants to mute the mic. Mr. Satish Prashad, I request you to mute the mic, please. Okay, no problem. So I'm saving my program here. Yeah. So when I'm saving my program, you can see the output here in the shell. Okay, so shell is basically output screen for Python when you are writing code in your text editor. So what is happening here in text editor? You are writing a program, and when you are executing the program, it for execution in a one code, and you can see output here in the shell screen. But it is convenient if you write programs in IDEs, because IDEs are basically designed for, provide more convenience while programming. So for Python, I recommend, PyCharm, that is a IDE provided by JetBrains. It is a very powerful IDE for Python programming language. So my recommendation is for JetBrains PyCharm IDE. Um, you will get familiar when you uh, start coding with the PyCharm in 1 or 2 days. It is very easy to use. So how to get PyCharm? Let's go to browser and search for download PyCharm. So in the first day while I'm searching here, I'm going to say for the first day, I will set your environment here. So it will be easy to code. And from the second day, I will expect you will code side by side with me, and you will take a screenshot wherever it needed. So it will be convenient when you will, start learning also. So here is a official website from JetBrains. You can see the link for PyCharm IDE. So when you hit here, you will see actually two versions of PyCharm IDE. One is community version and one is for professional. Professional one is paid and community is free, and there is also a trial of for professional version also for 30 days. And one more thing that is very good about the JetBrains, if you are a student and if you use your institute, it is very actually important, you all have to listen it very carefully, why JetBrains is very good other than any other IDEs or companies that is available in the market. First, it is very powerful, and the second, for students, you can get paid versions of these IDEs for free for 2 or 3 years. I don't know the time period, around 1 year, I think. You can get the JetBrains IDE paid version for free if you are a student, and if your institute providing you the institute ID, like care to provide a domain for every student for roll number @kit.ac.in. So the student can get it free, even when the version is paid. So in that term, PyCharm is very good. And if you can't get the paid version, or if you don't have the student ID, there is a community version too. As it is a community version, that not I'm saying it is not as much as good as professional version. It is not actually. Community version is also a very good, even for working I'm using community version. I haven't downloaded professional version yet. It is also very good, and you will see community version here in my system. You just have to hit on download button and proceed step by step as usually you download the software. So when you download it, you will see a screen like this. Not exactly a screen like this. Let me show you the starting screen. I have closed my already opened IDE, and I'm going to open it once again so that you will see the starting screen. So it is opening. For the first time, when you will download the PyCharm, it will take some time, and when it get loaded for after the first time, you will find it a little bit faster than the first time. Yeah, but it's somewhat heavy if you are using 4 GB system. So I recommend that you should or at least get 8 GB system if you are doing programming, and if you are doing front end, then I'm expecting at least 12 GB system or 16 GB system. So here is the screen for PyCharm when you open it. If you are already working on a project, then the last project will always loaded. So you see, I have closed my IDE from this screen. Now I got the same screen after reopening it. So it is also a good thing. And what will be a starting screen like, you will get this screen. Let me show you. When you open IDE first time, you will get screen like this. You just have to say file name here. Let's say I'm saying here Python workshop. Okay. So what you have to do to set up your ID, you just have to download the interpreter first from its official website. Then you can download the IDE, and when you download the IDE, and you can just start, because PyCharm find interpreter in your system by default. And if it not, then it asks for the location. You can go to the location and select for for the interpreter that you have downloaded. I'm using Python version 3.8, and I recommend you to go with Python 3.8, or if you want some latest functionality than the 3.8, then also you can go with the 3.9. I always recommend to yourself to descend at least one version that is available in the market. I'm saying it just because you will find more community support if you are using some of the descendant version that is latest available in the market. And community support for programming language, if you are a beginner or even if you are pro, it's very important. So here is my first environment that I have opened from the Python. What I'm doing, I'm clearing all this up, and someone has opened his or her mic. I request please mute it so that we can get listen to me. And if someone have any question or doubt, you can post it on chat instead opening the mic. There is a lot of disturbance, so I'm going to say day one here. As I have started a new project here. After the complete workshop, I will share the complete Python workshop project with all of you, whatever I will code here. But it is better to keep a screen shot time to time. uh, okay, so let me go with the the programs one by one, and some basic concept of syntax here. So what we can do first in any of the programming language, there is a basic. When you start with any of the programming language, you see the print statement first. And for the print statement in Python, if you already known to Java or C++, there is a always requirement to the setup of header files. You have to include header files. If you are in Java or like that environment, you have to make a class first, or things like that. But in Python, it is very easy. You don't have to include header files. You don't have to create function the first for execution of program. You don't have to make a class first for execution of your programs. So you don't need anything, and you can just start with the code, whatever you want to execute and want as an output from your code. So let's start with the print statement. Print statement is very easy in Python. You just have to say print, and boom, let's go. You will get the output here. It's very easy. you see, and this will build up your confidence. Congratulations to all of you. Now you have executed your first program here, and it's a hello world program, and see how convenient and yeah, easy if you compare it from all other programming languages. And one thing to know here, for that is for the string, that is the first data structure that I'm going to talk about. So what is a string? String is a set of the alphabet, symbols, numeric data that enclosed within a single quote or double quote. Yes, this is an option. You can enclose your string in single quote as well as double quote, as whatever you want. If you already known to JavaScript, it is the same in Python. As in JavaScript, you can use single and double quotes. In Python, you can use the same single quote or double quotes for enclosing the string. And string can hold a single letter, a word, even a sentence. And if you want to put a bunch of lines inside a string, then you are ready to go with the Python string. So here, what is here? Here, print is a function. Here, print is a function. It is a function. And what I'm going here to do, what I have done here, I have put it the hello in this function. So, and it is throwing the output for the uh, you know for the function here. You can see the output, and what I have just said, you can use single quotes as well. So here in second line, I'm going to say Python in single quotes. Just see, in first line I have said hello in double quotes, and in second line I have set Python in single quote. There is no difference between the double quote and single quote for the string. If you're using, you can see the output. One thing here you have to notice is that when you are getting the output, you are getting the output in separate lines. While if you have used C or C++, you get output in the same line, but in Python, you get the output in separated lines. We will talk much more about it for the line separation, or remove the line separation as well. Before that, first let dive into the data types that is available in Python. There, there is a very wide variety of data type that is available in Python, and this make it very easy to use to handle the program. And whatever the problem is, you can handle even the complex problem with the wide variety of data types that is available in Python. So let me talk about the Python data type first. So let me write it here. Let me use it as a you know um, text editor as well. You can take a screenshot of it also. No, let's open Notepad here. I think that will be better. Okay, I'm going to use Notepad here for the general writing purpose. Let me make font bigger for all of you so you can see it properly. So let me meanwhile it is opening the setting. I think my system is getting, so let me talk about the Python data types. So in Python, data types by default, data types that I have shown you, or the by default data type for the input functions in the Python is a string, and it is a text type data type. For a text type data type, there is only a single data type available in a Python, that is string. As it is a single, that not means for text we don't have powerful data type. Only even if it is a single data type for the text type in Python, even though it is a very powerful in nature, because it just a matter of how you implement the string data type in Python. It is a very powerful data type for the text type, that is a string. So let's say data types. So what I have said here, text type. For text type data, I am saying a string, and for the short annotation, it is str. We use str as a keyword for string data types, and the name of data type, let's say string. Here it is a full can say a full form or annotation meaning for str. Str is a string data type that I have shown you inside print statement. And the second is numeric type. Numeric type. For numeric type, we have integer. We say int, float. We have one more data type for numeric type, that is complex. That is very good actually. If you have written program in C or C++, and you have already found that if there is a negative value inside of under root, or there is an imaginary root, then it was difficult to show the output in output screen. If you were using C or C++, if the roots of the quadratic equation got in complex in nature. But in Python, there is a inbuilt data type that is complex, that can handle complex number as well, and it will show you the numbers in a default format, that x plus iy, that is a default format for, or general format for complex number. Second is sequential data type. So sequential type. For sequential type, we have list, okay, and tuple, and yeah, these are two basic sequential type data type in Python that you will widely use. Third one, let's say for the mapping type, yeah, this is a very powerful data structure that I'm going to talk about, that is mapping type, and it is dictionary. What is dictionary? I will talk about it later, but first let me uh, introduce you all the data types in Python, what actually, at least the name of all the data types. Third is set type, and for the set we have set and frozen set. For frozen set, uh, here is a separate one, okay. For frozen, for the math freaks, there is a data wide variety of the data types available, and we have boolean, of course. Be available for all. Yeah, the keyword is pool. If you're thinking about keyword and if you have think pool, then it's correct. We have binary types as well in Python, that is bytes, byte array, and memory view like this. Byte array, byte array, and memory view, okay. And we have none type also. What is the significance of none type? I will let you know about it as well with the exemplar program. None type, we have none type database, data type as well. This is a data type available in Python, and believe me, it's a very strong or very powerful set of data type that is available in Python programming language. So let me start with one by one. Let's start with string data type. And for any of the data type to handle the data, you have to use the variable. So you should also know about the variable as well. A variable is a simple, it is a container that holds the data as per your requirement for the data types that you want. So variable declaration or initialization is very easy in Python, but before initializing of any of the variable and before going further, I need someone has muted the mic. I request please mute the mic.
मैंने का फोन करा था
Please mute the mic, whoever
मैंने का
is.
फोन करा था बे
I request admin to apply the setting to mute the mic for all the participants. Anubhav Pandey, I request admin to mute the mic of all the participants. Thanks. Now everyone can hear. Sorry for the inconvenience. Before going further, I have to comment it all to start with variables. So how we can comment the things, whatever we have written in Python. You just I'm going to tell you about the the shortcut key for it. So just to please listen carefully here what I'm using for commenting. I'm selecting the data that I have to comment it out, and I'm using control plus forward slash. See here, all the things has been commented out, and you can see comment symbol as well. We are using hash for commenting the data. So in Python, we use hash to comment the data. Even for the multi-liner comments, we can select all the multiple lines that we want to comment it out, and we can, just press control plus forward slash. Let me type here what I'm using, ctrl, that is control plus forward slash. This is a combination key that I'm using for commenting the code. So I'm going to write for your note shortcut for commenting selected text in quotes. Okay, shortcut for commenting selected text in Python codes. It works in almost all the IDEs, and if it is not working, you just have to put hash in the beginning of line. Okay, start with the variable. Variables are the container that hold up your data. And for the variables, just as you have used in C++ or Java, you don't have to declare the type of the variable first, then you can use the variable. This is not the thing in Python. It is very easy. If you want 4 inside a variable, you just have to say equal to 4, nothing much. Okay, so here I'm saying a equal to 4, and now a is a variable that is containing a value 4. So if I print, let's say a, you will see the output. Here we go. Here you can see a is a variable that is a container, and in that container I'm using a value, and that value I'm printing here. You can see the printed value here in the output screen. Here it is in an output screen. And if you want a string with the variable values, you can use the string as well with the variable in print the statement like this. Value is value of variable is like this. So here it is a string. Here whatever I have written inside, double quote, it is a string, and Here it is a variable that I'm using, and I'm separating variable and the string by comma. So you can separate the combination of string and variables by comma, even if these are two, and even yeah, these are more you let's say let me show you. Actually, it will be better. uh, so you can use multiple string, multiple variable inside print statement or print function. Just you have to separate it by comma. Here I'm going to run it. Here we go. We can see two string and variable of print statement. Here we have used a combination of variable and string in a single print statement here. So how I can decide actually the type? So if you are using things without single quotation or double quotation, it will treat as as a numeric type or bold type or none type, according to the data that you are giving. Okay, either numeric type or bold type or none type, as per the data given to the variable. And if you take it inside a single quotation, it will be a string, because a string is always enclosed in single quotes or double quotes. Even it is a 4, that is a numeric value, but as it is enclosed in single quotes, it is a string. So let me remove this these lines. This will be better. Okay, 4. You can see 4 here, but 4 is not a numeric value. It is a string value. But how will you figure out, or in between a program, how will you get to know that what kind of data it is? So we have a quick function here. Let's say okay, let me use another line. Type of variable is, to get to know about the type of variable, you just have to say type, and you have to put your variable inside this type function or method function actually, and you can figure out the what type of variable is. If you want to know, obviously if you have done programming, then you just don't have to do it. But for the request data in web application, sometime it is needed. And to get to know about the data type of variable, you can use the type function, and you just have to put your data inside that type function, and you will get to know the type of the variable. Here you can see it is a string data type. Okay, as it is object oriented in nature, so this data type is for this data type there is a separate class called str, and you can see it is a string data type. And if I remove the single quotation here, you will see it like int. And if I put what if I give a value like this 4.2, you can see float here. So as you give the value to the variable, data type decide according to that. Okay, so I'm not using single quotes, but what if I give true here? See, the data type is changing accordingly. So it is a very good thing in Python. If you're coming from C or C++, you will find a little bit confusing, or as you are doing it first time, not declaring data, as Python is assuming the data type for it, little bit difficult or inconvenient. But when you will you get to know more about its data type and variable assignment, you will find out that it is a much easier than any of the programming language. You don't have to worry about the data type that we are using in code, and uh, it's a very easy thing actually. It's very easy compared to any other programming language. I will talk about the speed, accuracy, because so many people say Python is very slow in nature. Yeah, it is slow in compared to Java, but not as much that you can't use it in a project, because I have seen lots of bigger project or security related project, or transaction based project, where there are people who have big company and big project that handling millions of people in daily basis, but they are using Python as a programming language. It is comparatively slow, but not that much that makes your project inefficient. In Python, we are
Sir,
building
time up.
very powerful projects every day. Okay, so that's all about for the day one, and I will see you for the day two as well. We will talk more about data types, data structure, and so many things. And slowly we'll start programs as well in Python. Okay, thanks you, all of you. You have participated very well. You have done a good job here, and you have took screenshot all the things. Then it's very good. It will be very helpful on the day 5 when you will collect all the things that I have to hear. Okay, so we will keep this journey like this, and thank you all, and we will meet tomorrow at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And I'm sure that all of you would have gained a lot from this session. Now I request all the participants to please post their queries, if any, in the chat box session. I request all the participants to please post your queries in the chat box. Okay, Mr. Satish Prasad, please mute your mic. Mr. Satish Prasad, please mute your mic. Okay, moving further. Definitely, it was a great session, and I'm immensely thankful to the coordinator, Dr. Nurul Islam from Kanpur Institute of Technology, and Professor Vivi Ratnang for arranging this wonderful session. Special thanks to Director KIT, Dr. Brijesh Vashne sir, Dean of Engineering Faculty, Dr. Eddie Kembwal, all the dignitaries of both the institutes, faculty members, and of course, all the students from India and Indonesia for being a sincere listener and an active participant. Once again, thank you everyone, and we definitely look forward I hope you all would be present in the tomorrow's session. Thank you everyone. All the participants can now just leave the session. Ma'am, VV Ratnak ma'am, I request you to please close the session.
Professor Antung, can we end the session now? Hello? Hello? Can you
Yes,
hear
sir.
me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Participant can leave the session, and tomorrow 10 a.m. sharp for Indian time and Indonesian time 12:30 you can join and have patience with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.